Hello guys, and welcome to my top 20 facts you may or might know. May not or may know. So in this one, we're going to be doing a very popular TV show, which is Yu-Gi-Oh! This is going to mainly be based on the first series, maybe linking into 5Ds or GX, but near enough everything's mainly in the first couple of series. So there's no order these are in, so I'm not thinking like I'm going to do one in front of this one in front of the other. It's all just random facts I've bundled together in which I find the most interestingest. That's not even a word. The most interesting and what I think some people might not actually know. So let's just jump straight into it. Number 1. The original name for duel monsters was Spells and Wizards. Number 2. A card briefly seen in the anime was known as Quiz 5000 of Mathematics. This card required you to solve Fermat's last theorem. The first person who ever solved this theorem actually took 7 entire years, not to mention all the decades spent by dozens of others who failed before him. Even if you were to memorise the answer, it would take you at least 100 pages to write it, and then an expert will be required to read it. This explains why this card is not in circulation. You cannot get this card from shops. You could probably buy it on eBay or something. I think it was created once, but it was never actually used in a tournament, in the anime, or in the manga. Number 3. The monster that appears on Bottomless Trap Hole actually only has 1400 attack points, meaning by what the card's ability actually states, this monster wouldn't actually get affected. Number 4. During the last episode of the original anime, Yugi sets a dark mirror force, but when he actually uses it and reveals it, it turns out to be a normal mirror force. So either one of his dark magicians have been switching his cards around, or there's a couple of fixes in Yu-Gi-Oh! Number 5. The card designs in the anime are different to shop bought cards. If they were both identical, then Yu-Gi-Oh! And one Yu-Gi-Oh! Episode would be considered an advert to sell the cards, and the cost of a 20 to 30 minute advert isn't just loose change in a producer's pocket. Number 6. During episode 52 of GX, where Jaden faces off against Zane, Jaden is seen to be holding Defusion and Miracle Fusion. However, the Defusion card disappears and it is not accounted for, as it is not sent to the graveyard, it is not moved out of play, and is not targeted by another card on the field. Not only that, if he still had this card in his hand, he would have been able to win after Zane played his Fusioned Cyber Dragon. Number 7. There is actually cards that allow you to have a face-down attack position monster. One is known as Darkness Approaches. In the first movie, Kaiba goes through sacrificing half of his life points and removing 2 of his own cards from the game in order to win against Pegasus. However, earlier in the duel, he could have just used Ring of Destruction on Toon Dark Magician Girl, which would have reduced Pegasus' life to 0 and Kaiba's life points to 100. Number 9. The card Skull Servant was so weak to the point the creators released 4 support cards. These support cards are known as King of the Skull Servants, the Lady in White, White Mare, and White Prince. Number 10. Spirit Reaper was the first ever monster that could not be destroyed by battle. Number 11. Yami Yugi's real name is Atem. Number 12. The original magic card to be activated in all 5 seasons was Monster Reborn. Number 13. The very first duel seen on screen was between Yugi and Joey. Number 14. In episode 14 of 5Ds, Joey's cousin makes an appearance in the duel. He also wins and tells the opponent to try harder. This is a reference to Joey in the first series. Number 15. You can get Karibo's attack above 4000 by just using 2 cards, which are Multiply and United We Stand. Number 16. The 4Kids version of the series removed a ton of sexual innuendos from the original version. However, the sexual innuendos did in fact involve a lot of story behind the innuendo, if that kind of makes sense. So the innuendos actually linked in with a lot of what was going on. So by removing this, 4Kids actually made the show a little bit more complicated to understand. Number 17. Seto Kaiba has the same voice actor as Brock from Pokemon. So if you guys are waiting for a Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh crossover, you've been seeing it for the past couple of seasons. In Season 3, Episode 46 of the original series, Seto has a flashback. In the orphanage, he tells his brother he will build an amusement park and name it Kaibaland. Sounds good? Wrong. At this point, during the flashback, he was not adopted by Mr. Kaiba, and therefore this makes no sense to call it Kaibaland. Number 19. Before the original series aired on US TV, in Japan there is another series that takes place beforehand, which gives more information about how the main characters come about, how their childhood was, how they became friends, and a lot more info about the Pharaoh. It also gives a little bit away of how the Pharaoh found Yugi and fuses with him, and answers a lot of unanswered questions we have today. This then makes a so-called original series that aired on US TV technically the second series. If the other series aired, then maybe we'll understand a lot more about Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. Number 20. In the original manga, which came before the anime, Yugi will straight up murder people and set them on fire, and they will even make them fall to their death. On top of that, in all of 50 strips of manga, there are only ever 5 duels. So that brings an end to my top 20, but I also have a question for you. It's a question that don't actually have an answer, it's all opinion based or fan theory based. There's things in the anime that will help you get to this answer, but a lot in the anime is contradiction. So it is a well-known fact that when Yugi duels, the Pharaoh in the Manelian puzzle overtakes the body or helps him with the duel, and a physical change happens. You can see him go from a 10-year-old boy to like a 29-year-old guy. So my question to you is, do his friends and opponents actually see this change happening? There's some episodes where Joey will say it's like Yugi turns into another person when he duels, which gives the indication they can't see the physical change, and it's just like the Pharaoh change that we see is representing his inside voice, which is obviously Pharaoh. But there is other episodes when the opponents talk to Pharaoh directly, like they can see him. This makes it contradicting itself on whether we can see him or not. Like in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, you have Astral and you have Yuma. There's a clear thing where at the beginning of the series you couldn't see Astral until something happened and made his friends see him. We didn't get that in the original series, so can they see them or can they not? That's my question for you. I will answer it in my next top 20, and I will see you next time, guys.